Uh, testing, testing. Hey guys, welcome to the stream, guys. Hopefully I'm being heard clearly, right? Just check that my volume is good. So we won't be having um any webcam today, but hopefully my volume is good, right? So if we late start, guys, my brother is sick and I think he passed along whatever he has to me. Good morning to everyone. So hopefully I'm being heard clearly, right, guys? Just let me know. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, nice. Driving straight into it, right? So I'm just gonna take a look at some of the fundamentals. We're gonna take a look at some of the stuff coming up this week. Sorry for today. And then we'll take a look at GJ. And I see already that it started moving down a little bit here. I actually had a position here. At this point, I just think that you could enter this, right? It's it's a relatively tight stop loss, but yeah, I think this is a possible trade so that you could get into right now. Actually, as price pull below this area here, yeah, it looks like we could get that drive all the way back down towards the supportive level here. Yeah, so if you want to enter a trade here, guys, this would be a nice probable trade you could enter here. As we have this push below this area here, right? Price initially tried to go up. We started trending a little bit, but now as the market is coming to open in London session, we have the strong push below this resistance area here, right? You can see it's an area of importance because right around here, right? Price came up into this level, we pushed down, we had this couple of rejections here, hence market as a support level, price pushed below, and then we continued down, and you see we came back up, and now we're pushing back down at that level here, right? So this is an area you can enter. Hold on, I'll adjust this here first, so you can actually this is 13159 and 226 266. Alright, guys. To 26. And the stop loss is around 28 pips. That's 546. So this is a trade here. Obviously, if you want to, you can wait until the actual candle close. Once we do get that close below this area here, then we should see a nice continuation downwards for price to continue falling even further. Alright, so this is the trade that we could possibly get into here, and we'll see if price is able to swing it even lower. Right. If anybody have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have any trade that you want to take a look at, also feel free to ask to do so. Alright. Well, this is the trade setup here, guys. So we're going to look to see if price will continue moving downwards. Alright, in terms of news, we don't really have much coming up. We have some card retail sales to come. Looking like it's gonna be pretty bearish, the consensus that we have here. Less than the actual, so we'll see whether that comes into fruition or not. And then we have USD home sales, right? Next week, let's take a look at next week while we're here. Some stuff that we have coming up. Let's see. We have NZD CPI inflations, and we have the AD inflation, and also CPI data. So all of this will have a major impact on price. Looks like CPI is looking to be higher, so we may have a nice move to the upside, a nice swing to the upside on these pairs, on the risk assets. So that's something you could look forward to. But it looks like the inflation rate itself, inflation rate for the quarter, looks like inflation should rise. Looks like it will be steadily on rising as okay. So for the inflation rate, the comparison for quarters. Okay, so it looks like we might have mixed data here when it comes to the inflation. It should come out as the consensus, right? A little higher than in previous, so we'll see whether or not that has an impact on price itself. However, I do think the more in focus data that we should be paying attention to is that CPI, right? For CPI for both of the risk assets, so we'll see whether that has an effect on price. But it should give us some nice opportunities to see swings to the upside. We have interest rates here for the CAD, so that is something to look forward to. Expecting an increase by 0.25 base point increase. So we'll see whether or not price does have a nice rally to the upside with this. I think it should just remain the same, especially since the hike itself is coming out at such a low pace, right? They're not being too aggressive with the hike or anything. This may actually cause price to drop. So I think on the card assets, we could possibly look for sell situations to get into, right? So I'm just gonna note that there. Yeah, we don't have much else. So GDP data, that's it. So not much really going on into next week, but we'll see how the how CPI react for the risk assets as well as the interest rates for the card here. We'll see what price does when this does come out. I expect, since it's such a low increase in terms of the rates, it should just price should drive lower. And let's take a look at some of the other things that we could get into here. 80 JPY. A lot of these JPY pairs I'm still very bearish on. So like 80 JPY right around here, I do think at this point you could actually go for a sell situation as well. Not to rush anything. But in terms of like a pullback here, we can see that price moved down pretty strongly right into this area here. Instead of continuing all the way down, we saw that early pullback here, but I think this is a level where we could see price actually push back to the supportive area here, right? If you take a look at the daily time frame, we could see this nice wick rejection to the downside. I do think that this bullish candle on the day could actually turn bearish and finish right here. All right, so that's something that I think has a potential to actually play out. Rather than seeing price continuously rise, I think this is an area where we could have a key to around back to the downside, right? Because overall this market is still bearish. There's no real reason to start buying any risk assets as yet. Risk sentiment still looking kind of poorish, so I think this would be an opportunity to actually enter to the short side as well too, right? Like anything, this has its own inherent risk, but yeah, this is another trade I'll enter as well on the 80 JPY. I think I'm gonna take a trade on this too here. All right, so this is a 1 to 3 around like that. Let's get around. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a trade on this here, guys. Everybody with very fast. Alright, so we see how this actually plays out, right? But this is the trades for me right now. So just the GJ and this here on 80 JPY. Not really much going on right now in the market, so looks like this coming to the ending of the trading week. We have to have some patience here. Take a look at some of the other stuff. 80 JPY, I'm sorry, 80 CAD, right? So 80 CAD did come up a little bit here after firstly breaking down. I expect the price to come into this supportive area and possibly push up, but we pushed even lower. At this point, I'm not going to buy into it. So let me just remove this. I'm not gonna buy into this right now. I do think coming up for next week, right, when we have the card interest rates, I think this could have potentially drive even higher, right? So wherever we end on the day, I will be looking for buy setups on this moving forward, as well as looking at CPI that we have coming up too. I think at that point the risk sentiment would change over, and we should see more of a clearer push continuing to the upside. So that's something we could potentially, we pay attention to and see whether or not we have a price pushing that direction of our bias, right? The DXY here, if you're looking at the US currency strength, price tried to push up, but gradually we're still coming back and ranging back down. So dollar is still weak by all means. And how does that translate on the other currencies? We can see here the euro, we barely had any movement really, sort of ranging. Not really much going on. So yeah, it looks like we're in some very peculiar situations. GBP, PS, kind of pushing down, but still not too much of the not the best set of movements that we're getting from the pound, right? So everything is sort of rangy. This probably moved the clearest, but everything is just the market's looking like complete trash right now. I had this XPX 500 trade idea. So price pushed down, hit that supportive level, we came up, price pushed down again, and now right here on the day we're pushing back up above it, right? So I am expecting price to possibly drive higher again with that weak USD. There's no reason as to why price should continue falling down. So we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna enter this, I'm not entering this, but it's something that I'm watching to see whether or not, you know, how price reacts to it, and maybe moving in the future we might actually start taking some trades on the indices, right? Gold continue to gradually push up. Alright, so gold is still very bullish. We should see this continuation of this bullishness, right? So the next possible target for gold are these highs right here. That's something I think could potentially happen. A very likely scenario. Even as we speak right now, I just think that gold is just going to continue pushing higher, right? If we take a look at the lower time frames, only 15 minutes, I think at this point gold should continue driving higher. This is something that I think this could be a potential trade setup right here. Go wait for the candle close. If it closes right around this area of entry, then gold should continue moving upwards. So I'm just marking this. I'm not entering it, but this is something that I'm marking. This could be a potential trade setup. If you want to be more conservative, obviously you could wait until gold actually pushes above this resistance zone. Alright, and then you look to take a trade, because at that point price should continue driving upwards. Alright, and we have just free reign. We have a free, yeah, price will just move uninhibited, right? So this is something that could potentially play out as well. Take a wait, maybe price might pull up. We gotta close above this resistance area. We should see a continuation, especially with NY volume coming in later today. That should be a possible trade. Right, so we have around 4 minutes for the London Open. Let me just pull out my trusty this is what I use for the time zone, guys. Guys, so we have the London session coming up just now. I like this. I like the layout of this, because it really shows you really clearly the different time zones, especially if you have issues with understanding when certain market sessions opening for you in whatever time zone you're in. This is a nice little way to just see everything, like a clear picture of everything, without, you know, the hassle of having to convert time zones, anything like that. So the market's gonna open here for the London session just now. And we'll see. Sorry, JP. Alright, but yeah, that's it. We don't really have much going on in the markets right now. Price should continue moving downwards, right? If we have, yeah, it should continue moving downwards if that is what the yen decides to do. If not, then we just was on the wrong side of this trade, and you know, it happens sometimes, so we just have to accept that. But yeah, this looks like the probable drive. If price does come and stop me out, I'll have to contemplate about re-entering this excuse me, I'll have to contemplate about re-entering this position, right? Just because it's Friday, so it doesn't make any sense actually rushing or, you know, trying to chase after a trade on Friday, because most of the times we're just either the volume's gonna be there to see, you know, either price push down back into that last level that it created, which would be the supportive area, or if we start clearing and making new highs, then price is just gonna revisit up here, right? But in terms of potentially why I see price going, I do think we have more of a likelihood of pushing back down here, right, on that sort of bearish tone, rather than completing that whole move upwards. I could be wrong, so that is something to take into consideration. But we'll see. If anybody have any questions, feel free to voice them. Feel free to ask away. I'll try to answer to the best of my abilities. If there's anything that you want to look at, feel free to ask as well. Yeah, we have some very strong price action. Stick some positions here on my trades. So price open up. Market has opened. Alright, so if you didn't execute here, you could just wait until this candle actually pushes bearishly, reaches into that zone, target us in, and we should see a continuation, right? So we're waiting, we're patiently waiting to see whether or not price is going to continue what price decides to do here. JPY. So this as well open to that zone. No loot here. Let's see what price decides to do. And overall, very silent day on the markets, to be honest, right now, guys. Take a quick look at the XPX. Not much, not much. The gold is pushing down right now. Huh. So we actually switch bearish here. We'll see whether or not price is able to continue on this run. If we do see a continuation, right? This will be my take profit area. Something like right around here, I 1 to 3, halfway to the full take profit. This is where I'll look to take my first initial set of profits around that 1 to 3. Just because we don't know if we're gonna see the volume actually push all the way lower. During New York sessions, we could see some weird shit that always happens. Price could reverse on us as well, right? So that's something that we could, we have to be aware of, as well as some of the supportive levels we might run into. So we might find some sort of resistance for price to continue pushing down. That's provided if this candle does actually start pushing lower. Alright, so we'll see what price does, and yeah, just mark it up and let the trade do what it wants. If you want to, you could take your profits at, maybe 20 pips or something like that if you're scalping. Nothing's wrong with that. I think that's like the safer option too, especially given the markets right now with the low volume situation. Yeah, that's possibly the better option. So it's up to you, as the trader, is up to you. But yeah, we're just gonna leave it, see what price does, and yeah. So there's not really much to discuss going on right now. And one thing that we should note as well too, I think it escapes a lot of people, is that we're still in the first month, right? It's still the first month of the trading year. So Don't try to rush anything. If it's not working out in your favor as you hoped for, then just manage your risk wisely and continue pushing forward, right? So yeah, just gonna leave this. We'll see how it plays out. But I think that's it for me right now, guys. Not really much going on. Right, so again, we have the early stream and we're ending earlier as well because not much going on with price at this point in time. We leave it, we'll see what it does, but yeah, that's about it, guys, to be honest. Alright, so thank you guys for joining. Really do appreciate it. Moving forward, I do think starting from next week we'll also be doing some New York session, because I want to get a feel of the different market opens, right? I want to get a feel of when the NY session open, how does that affect volume, and whether or not we're able to profit on trades on that. You know, the lower time frames, particularly here still on GJ, how we could profit from that. And yeah, so it's something I'll be testing as well. So maybe NY sessions would start back, right? So yeah, thank you. We'll see how this plays out. Alright guys, so that's it for me. Peace. And I do hope that you do have a great trading week. You had a great trading week, you have a good trading day moving forward, and just be aware it's the first month, right? So there's no reason to rush anything. If you're experiencing some drawdown, if things not going your way that you wanted to, it's okay. We have a lot more trades to come, a lot more trade setups, a lot more opportunities in the markets to get involved in, right? So that's it, guys.